Hi, I'm Lindsay, Kiki's mom, and for the next, I don't even know how long I'm here for your questions and entertainment. So I'm glad you all decided to send me these, even though I probably hounded a bit, but I just really, really, really wanted to do this because I reached 67 followers, and honestly, I didn't think I'd get that many. It seems a little odd for an OC. I see a lot of canon characters getting love on Tumblr, but playing a canon character hasn't ever really been my style. I always feel like I would mess them up somehow. I don't really know. I guess I thought I would never do them justice. So, making up my own only seemed fair. So, at least fair to the fandom and would get me less Anon hate if I ever got any. So, on to the questions, I guess. First batch comes from Knives and Lint, which is fabulous Joker. Fabulous. If you aren't following them, go do it. First question is, how did you start role playing? Oh Lord. This came from when I was, even before that. I was like 9 technically when I started. I would do impromptu things in my living room with my best friend at the time. Our first characters were Saiyans. We were big Dragon Ball Z fans. And we created a pair of Saiyan sisters because thought we were, original and kooky, and there were no female Saiyans to be had. So that's when I first started role playing. It was around then, and then it evolved into Yahoo chat rooms when I got older. When we used to have the role playing tab on those, the chat box forum thing, um, and it just evolved from there. I've been on forums. I was on Gaia for the longest time when I was a preteen and some of my teenage years. My cat's being an idiot. Um, But yeah, I've been role playing for a really long time on different platforms. So far, Tumblr's been my favorite. It just seems a lot more personal, and you get to know people a lot better than, say, through a forum where you're only waiting for a response. And I never really talked to anybody on any of the forums I was on, other than through roleplay and out of character posts. We never knew each other's real names or exchanged phone numbers or anything of that nature. So Tumblr's been my favorite. So, next question is how. Well, I guess I answered how long I've been role playing. What are some other characters you have role played? Oh Lord, a ton. Most of them have been OCs. Like I said, I've never been a canon character person, but I've had a Naruto OC. I've had a Sailor Moon OC. Just a ton, mostly from animes. I never really started creating characters from scratch from no particular fandom until 5 years ago or so. So most of them have been from series and things like that. My last muse was from Repo the Genetic Opera, and that was on Tumblr, and she didn't go over so well with that fandom. Not to be hateful or anything, but some of the people in the Repo fandom can be picky. Next question is, what is your favorite type of RP? Dark romance, angst, fluff, etc.? Uh, I like everything. It creates so many dimensions to the character and to have different dynamics and things that you can do. I enjoy everything, but of course, with this muse that I have now, it's more leaning towards violence and angst. but I do enjoy the romantic little tidbits she gets to do. Um, so I don't really have a favorite. I do everything. Uh, mm, but if I had to pick, no, I can't pick. So everything. Next question is, if you were to play someone from DC, who would it be and why? Um, uh, Poison Ivy, I guess. Uh, I've always liked her as a character, but again, that whole doing them justice thing is kind of getting in the way of me doing anything of that nature. Um, or I've always been a fan of Tim Burton's Catwoman. I don't know if she counts, but I think she does. Um, I think I could play her relatively well. Why for both? They seem like they'd just be fun characters to play, especially with that version of Catwoman's insanity. I mean, my God, she was batshit crazy. No pun intended. But yeah, they just seem like they'd be fun to play. Um, Next question is, um, if you were to roleplay someone from Marvel, who would it be and why? Black Widow, all the way. It's not that I'm not a fan of other characters, it's just she seems like she would fit my brain a bit more. I could easily do her dialogue and things like that because I connect with her so well on certain levels. So probably her, but again, the whole doing them justice thing scares the shit out of me. Next question is, if you were to role play another character, who would be the character of your choosing? If I could pick anything, I'd try out the Cirque du Freak fandom here. I don't know how strong it is. I don't even know if anybody even reads those books anymore, but it's a fantastic series. I'd probably bring my really old character from my young teens year and reformat her, make her better, and introduce her here on Tumblr, but um, I like to concentrate on one muse at a time if I can get away with it. Uh, and another one would probably be, um, ooh, I don't know if I would have another one. Um, um, Maybe a Hunger Games OC, possibly. Uh, yeah. Like I said, one at a time. Next question is, what are your favorite ships? I'm assuming you meant my personal favorite ships. So uh, I'm a big horror movie fan, so a lot of these are horror movie based. Hannibal and Clarice, Freddie and Nancy, that's another guilty one of mine. Chucky and Tiffany, but un uh out of the horror genre, I like A Mitch and Effie. Um, uh, yeah, a lot of sorry. Tony and Pepper. Just I'm uh I'm a sucker for sarcasm and cat and mouse kind of relationships. Uh, Huge sucker for those. Next question is, for your character. You asked me that. Uh, right now I only have one official ship that they're really actually in a relationship, and that's Edgar and Kiki. I love this ship so much. He brings out some of the best qualities in her, human qualities anyway, when they're not murdering people together. But let's see, Jay and Kiki, though they're not really together, this is a ship I probably would really enjoy if it were a real thing. Um, just the fights that they would have would be hilarious. Alice and Kiki, I ship this platonically, even though there is some questionable content there, but it's more platonic than anything. I'm enjoying their friendship. Uh, and this is terrible. The last guilty ship I have that probably won't be a ship at all um, would have to be Fred and Kiki. The more I watch Ripper Street, the more the muse screams at me how she wants to just torture the ever living shit out of this poor man. And it's bad. It's really bad, but it's honestly one of the muses that I can't wait for my own to interact with, and Fredman and I are hopefully going to work on that soon, but sorry, guilty ship. Um, for others, I love Alice and Jay's relationship. I really do. I have to tell you that now, J Mom. But every time I read a thread of theirs, it just makes me laugh so hard, or it makes me cry, or something in between. Like almost every time, I never feel badly about liking this ship, and I always count that as a good thing. Um, Edgar and Cherry, um, Cherry Finola Hobbs. If you're not following her, go do it. She's a fantastic, the month's fantastic writer. But the couple interactions that I've seen them do are very cute and very, very coupley without it being coupley. Like they're not even in a relationship, but they're very sweet towards one another. It's cute. Next question is, what is something you are dying to do with your character? Uh, this is bad. Uh, I want someone to legitimately get a hold of her, kidnap her or something, and just torture the ever living shit out of her. And here's the reason why. I want her to laugh at them the whole time they're doing it, just so I can show that deranged side of her that she really doesn't care. And depending on who it is, she's either not going to care that you're going to kill her, or she's gonna care a lot, and it'll make it funny to me somehow. It's just something I really want to do. Oh, and to have her realize exactly how much she cares about someone. Uh, I hear trouble. Um, alright, next question is, what are some of Kiki's flaws, weaknesses, insecurities, so on? Um, Flaws as well, she's insane. Um, there's not a whole lot that anybody hasn't seen already. She can get insecure about the way she does things. She worries a lot sometimes that she's going to get caught, especially if she's trying to help someone out. Like in one of the threads I did recently with Cherry, she murdered some guy in an alley just out in the open, and she wasn't showing it, but she was really unsure about leaving the body there, but she did anyway. Insecurities, uh, it's the same thing really as her weaknesses. She's just, sometimes she gets really insecure about like how she murders people, or another human insecurity is if she's loved, which that's weird for a murderer to be worried about, but she does worry at times that no one really cares if she wants them to care, and that's something. Um, the next question is, would she put her life on the line for anyone, and if so, why? Alice. Like any day of the week. Why? Because Alice wasn't afraid of her at all. Like even upon their first little words that they exchanged was Kiki admitting that she had butchered her parents. She just like outright said it. And Alice didn't seem to be fazed by it, and it's because of the things that she's been through, obviously, but um, they are very kindred spirits. So if anybody tried to kill Alice, Kiki would be right there in the way of whatever it was, and they'd have a tough time getting through her to get back to their initial target. But yes, um, Edgar, duh, she just outright die for him. It's obvious that she would do that, and this is still iffy, but she'd probably jump in front of a bullet for Jay at some point. Uh, he's gotten on that level with her, like almost. It's like this far. But he's almost there to being, you know, friends, I guess, with her. She already lets him into her apartment, which is weird. I don't think she had a choice though, to be honest. I think he would have found his way in anyway. Um, and that's all. Thank you again. The next set of questions came from Best News Fred. Um, First question they asked was, well, would like to know how Kiki was formed as a muse. Did something inspire you, or did she just pop into your head one day? Um, Kiki was formed in April, two, almost 3 years ago. Um, I was doing a Nightmare on Elm Street roleplay actually, and the character that I was playing had gone schizophrenic at one point, and an alter ego was formed, and that was pretty much what I'm playing now. Only a lot more darker, a lot. Like that version of Kiki was just outright fucking crazy. Like even worse than the one I'm playing now. The version of her I'm playing now is a lot more watered down. I actually got uncomfortable playing the version that I had first created, but I loved her so much as a killer that I brought her back, only reformatted her to fit my headspace a lot better, make me a lot less uncomfortable. So she was born a while ago, but I didn't decide to, play this character again until recently, and decided to take out the goody two shoes portion of her and just play her as a killer. Made it a lot easier than going back and forth and doing the italics for different speech and this, that, and the other. If anybody plays a schizophrenic character, bless you. Seriously, it's a lot of work and more power to you, but I couldn't handle it, and her insane speech and all that was just too much. So, um, she was born a while ago and just now brought back. So, um, the inspiration for her was thin air, honestly. I don't know where it came from. Uh, so, hope that answers that. Uh, Next question was, how often do you feel like you just can't RP Kiki? I feel like she could be a tough muse at times. Um, she can be, especially when I'm doing angsty things and like actual thought out murders. It's I don't know. It can be odd, but tough. Tough's a strong word to describe it. It's a little bit of a struggle, but it's not insanely hard. Um, so hope that answers that. If that does happen often, what do you do to get back in rhythm with her? Um, watch something that reminds me of her, like American Mary or I'll listen to just outright violent music. Um, that sounds sounds bad, but yeah, that's what I do. It brings out the worst of her, and then it helps me settle back into the good portions and what she's really about. So yeah, there's that. Thank you for sending in questions. Um, the next batch came from Torn Butterflies. Uh, my badass Alice. Uh, what does Kiki like about her ships? All the ships. For Edgar and her, she likes everything. She likes that he accepts her for what she is, even though he's the same. Um, it's just he does it in such a gentle fashion that it makes her feel more human than it should. Um, and that scares her at times, how human she feels around him, even though they both go out and do awful things together. And the human aspect really ever doesn't ever fade away around him. Um, she uh, she just loves the acceptance portion of their relationship, as well as other things, of course. Uh, uh, I'll leave that alone. Uh, like I said, that's really the only official ship. Alice and her's platonic relationship. She likes everything. It's the same thing. It's about acceptance. The fact that Alice doesn't shy away from her at any point, even though she could slit someone's throat right in front of her, and even if Alice isn't in that particular mood, she'll be like, "All right, that's good." But now give me a hug. It's like that. So it's the acceptance all over again. Um, uh, and Jay and her again. It's not an official ship, but she she enjoys him a lot, even though she tries to tell herself it's really nothing. Uh, so there's that. Um, Next question. Does Kiki know how Alice feels for her? She's got an idea, but it's just an idea. I think she needs to hear it, which she never will, but she could tell a little bit, at least, that Alice isn't gonna up and leave her at any point, at least unless she gets, crazy burr up her ass and decides to run away, which she has before. So, there's that. Um, Next question. What was it like meeting Robert frickin' England? Oh God, alright. Let's talk about that for a second. Um, I was really nervous the whole time we were standing in line. Oh God. Like, I had never felt so throw uppy in my entire life. I was afraid I was gonna say something wrong and all this other noise. Turns out I didn't say much of anything. I got maybe 5 sentences out the entire time, and they were very short. I was just enjoying how funny he was and how sweet. His wife was the same way. Um, it was just a good experience all around. Um, I'd tell you exactly how everything went and such, but that's really long. I will tell you, however, this really, really funny story. Two actually, I have two. Um, at this convention that we went to meet him, we kept bumping into him after that. And I think the two most specific experiences was the incident when we went to go see the Mole Man of Belmont Avenue premiere, and he sat in front of us. And a funny incident went down there. I think you can search on YouTube this scene where he's dirty talking to this woman over the phone. And when we came in and sat, we got lucky because he sat like a row in front of us, so I was freaking out the whole time. But if you ever get an experience like that, to sit with an actor watching their own film, do it. But anyway, back to the scene. As we're sitting here watching it, his wife is there with him in the row in front of us, and she turns to him and says, "Why don't you ever talk to me like that?" And we had to try so hard not to lose it this entire conversation they're having back and forth. But that was insanely hilarious. And then the other one was when we went to go watch his Q&A. The first thing he said when it came up on stage, and I kid you not, he said, "Who do I have to fuck around here to get a club sandwich?" And my cousin grabs my wrist and goes to pull my hand into the air, and I ended up hitting him in the face, regrettably, but still. It's kind of humor. That whole Q&A was funny, but anyway. Moving on to, I hope that answers your question. Moving on to the next question. Have you ever eaten dog food on a dare? No, I haven't. But funny enough, my brother used to eat those little dog milk bones, like in milk, in a bowl with a spoon. He used to eat that and watch Star Trek with our dog. His claim was they tasted like Cheerios. Next question. Do you like working at Walmart? No. No, I don't. I mean, my coworkers are fun, so I guess that makes the work experience fun. But the customers I get can sometimes be really rude and awful, and just the whole night is just dragging, and I want to go home. But I guess my coworkers make it worthwhile sometimes. So, next question. Did you ever buy that coffin bag? No. The markup for it was so high. I think it was $40 plus 15 for shipping is where the bidding ended. And I wanted it, but I didn't want it that bad. For that price, I could have bought something brand spanking new. Um, Next question. What is Kiki's favorite food? I don't know. She doesn't really focus on that too much. She'll just eat whatever's in her cupboard. Like I guess if I had to pick, she really likes ordering pizza, I guess if that counts. If she gets lazy, she'll do that, but most of the time she tries to cook for herself. It's just hamburger helper and macaroni out of the box and things like that. This is why she exercises so much. Junk food everywhere. Um, does Kiki like the show Dexter? You might have noticed by now the whole medical aspect to her, the scalpel use. Um, so maybe she got that from him. I don't think so, though. I think it was something different. Um, but she does watch the show. She watches it religiously. In fact, well, did. Now it's over and she's quite upset. But Dexter, she felt like was her soulmate on some level. You know, all our characters probably have those ridiculous celebrity crushes. She knows he's not real, but don't you have that one that you kind of wish was? Yeah, that's Dexter for Kiki. So, yeah, guilty there. Um, did you know that you're cute? Aw, thanks. No, I didn't, but now I'm aware. Oh, no, really, thank you. That means a lot. Um, Next question. Does Kiki know that Joker knows about the cat she got for Alice? He hasn't mentioned it, but out of character, I know. So if he ever does come and try and murder her, for no particular reason, or sends her a weird random picture of a cat on her phone, with the message, "You're dead," I think she'll know. So that hasn't happened yet. But when it does, I'm sure she'll know what it means. Thank you for sending in the questions. Next and last set of questions from the Mayor's Huntswoman. Um, who is your favorite Harry Potter character and why? Forever and always, it will be Draco Malfoy. Like, I can't help it. That little shit, I've grown attached to him and will still be attached to him forever. Like, my crush on him was embarrassing when I was little. It was bad. I had t-shirts, posters, a Slytherin banner in my room. It was awful, but yeah. Hope that answers that question. Oh, I'm sorry. Why? Why? Because he's a little shit, and I enjoy little shits. Um, Next question is, what's your least favorite horror film slash horror film franchise? Paranormal Activity. Please stop filming them. They're not good. None of them are good. Well, maybe the first one. But I only got a kick out of it because I thought saw it in theaters, and I enjoyed watching everybody jump. So there's that. Um, Next question is, who's your least favorite horror villain? Your least favorite horror villain in any horror genre. um, Gonna have to go with the classics here, and I gotta say, I'm gonna make enemies here. I'm not a big Jason fan. I like my villains to have personality, and not to say that Jason has none, but I don't know. It's just something about him really bugs me. I'm not quite sure what it is, but there's that. Sorry. Next question. What is your favorite theme in roleplay? Again, this collaborates with the earlier question of what's my favorite thing. Um, Anything. I don't have a least favorite. I don't have a favorite. I do all of it. The whole thing. The whole enchilada. Next question. Um, what's your philosophy in roleplay? Well, I think everybody should be have fun, like, and don't make fun of anybody for trying. If they're trying, I mean, that's something, right? We all started at one-liners and putting things in our actions in little stars and this, that, and the other. We all started there pretty much and worked our way from that. Some people have to evolve over time and it takes them a lot longer, and just have fun. As long as you're having fun and not hurting people and not sending anon hate, who cares? Oh, I do have one pet peeve. Don't force relationships. Don't do it. There are characters my character could give two shits less about. So don't force relationships. Do not meet someone and instantly they're your best friend. It's a little odd. That's really my only pet peeve. Moving on. Next question is. Oh, last question, too. Which characters do you want to roleplay with but haven't seen profiles for on this website? All the horror villains. All of them. I just want to interact with all of them at least once. I found profiles for a couple of them, but I have not found a Wishmaster profile. Oh, I'd love to find one of those, but that film franchise is so it's a very niche kind of deal. Um, let's see, just anything like that. Any other serial killer OCs, I'd love to interact with them. Um, I welcome everybody. Like, I'm sorry. There's some off the wall characters that he actually couldn't interact with very well, but that doesn't mean I don't want to follow them and read their threads and whatnot. So I welcome everybody. That was the last question. Again, thank you all for sending in questions. I enjoyed answering them. I hope you enjoyed watching this. And you all are fantastic. Seriously, for accepting my little serial killer into your hearts. um, it's been a rough ride for me on Tumblr in the roleplay department anyway, and this is the first successful muse I've had on here, even though I've had like three others. Um, in short, thank you. I hope you enjoyed watching this.